Okay, my wife is going to be with us very shortly. Hello, everybody. Um, it is great to be here. Welcome to week two. Um, Kerry has actually spent a long time researching our inspirational quote for this evening. But first, the title is Marriage Goals and the Key to a Fruitful Marriage. That's our topic and focus this week. And it's a shame Kerry's not here, bless her, to be able to share this quote with you. Um, the more you invest in a marriage, the more valuable it becomes. And that is from Amy Grant. And she would be able to, Kerry would be able to give us a bit more of a background on that quote, but she's not here right now. But Kerry and I had a great time last week. We had some really funny feedback, and watching it back, had some very fun moments indeed. It was a real experience for us, and we've never done anything like this together before. I've spoken a lot right across the country on stage, and to hundreds, if not thousands, of people. And yes, to do it live on video is something very, very new. All right, you there? So just a little bit of feedback that we had that we thought we might share with you. This is from Jay in the Northeast. Since your Love on Lockdown YouTube course, I have bitten my tongue and changed my language a few times, as the outcome of my words would have been cutting or hurtful, which I didn't really realize before. I have even done it with the kids, not just my husband. So go you. And from Jay in the Southwest, another person's name beginning with J. It's not us, that we can't think of any other letters in the alphabet. Great session last night. We both really enjoyed it. We had a wonderful conversation afterwards and began to dig a little deeper for the first time, which was amazing. We spoke about some of our stuff and how that has affected us both in our relationship. Keep up the amazing work. So that was just lovely to hear. So thanks again for those of you that have coming along as a couple, or even watching this recording after it's been live. We know some people were there on their own last week, so again, just to reiterate, it's really important. Even if you can't bring your husband or wife along with you, you can make a big difference in your relationship if you're just implementing these principles yourself, actually. And everyone needs more love. There's an extreme shortage of it right now. So you're taking a really positive step in your relationship by being here, and we're honored to be a part of that. So yeah, if you haven't met me before, my name is Ben Leppier. I started out as an engineer, and after university, I realized that my passion wasn't mechanical engineering and aeronautical engineering and landing gear systems and design and control. But I was involved in performance and behavior of systems, and that was boring, but I moved into performance and behavior of human beings, which is way, way more fun. And at an early age, I was getting to know women. I bought a really, really good book that I would still recommend now. Actually, it might be the book recommendation of the week. It's written by someone called Dr. Barbara DeAngelis, and it's called What Women Want Men to Know. And it was a brilliant book. And my intention was to build a happier relationship, even at 16, because I could see how damaging my parents' marriage were and how that just didn't work for them as two individuals wanting to be happy in their lives. So I thought, how can I build a happy relationship? Unfortunately, anything wonderful in the wrong hands can turn us a bit crazy, a bit like Lord of the Rings when everyone tries to get their hand on the ring. It's only Frodo that can carry the ring, and I certainly wasn't Frodo. I used all of it to my advantage at that time, and not a way to understand and love better. It led me to a hunger, though, for psychology and understanding people, pain, relationships, and understanding myself. I started a property business with my best friend at the time. We both got sacked from the same company because we were running a business, as well as working. I failed at property, made a mistake so huge that it left us £100,000, £100,000 in debt, just weeks before we got married. So we had to um, email everybody and say, we can't pay for your meal, you have to pay for it, which was the most humbling message I've ever had to send, which they were all delighted to do, but they were already paying for their accommodation and flights. It felt ridiculous to be spending out even more money. But it was a mistake that has made me even more grateful than ever for my marriage and for Kerry and for what we have. We turned something really bad, what would end most marriages, into something really quite wonderful. And now I work with couples, or we together as a team work with couples in strengthening or at times saving marriage. And again, thank you for the people that got in touch on the back of last week's course, because we've already had some wonderful conversations with people, and yeah, people are really opening up to this. So, Dana,
Me,
you
please. Kerry. I don't coach. don't quite have the same desire as Ben, but bring other values to what we do. And I am in charge of the unspoken words. So the blogging is all me, which I love. I love the written word, and I love writing encouraging posts for people to read. The ones that help people hopefully feel uplifted and hopeful and positive, because that's what I like to read as well. So, and I do all the admin and finance and all the other bits that keep Ben afloat.
And you love me, which is the most important job in the world.
And the easiest,
most straightforward, uncomplicated job.
So yeah, how are you all finding lockdown? I'd love to know how everyone else is coping with it. Mm-hmm. I feel like as we've gone into week 4, the wheels are just starting to fall off a bit for us.
For us.
Not for us, but definitely like for me and the kids. I just felt a bit like I was losing the plot today.
Yeah.
It's just, and because there's no end at the moment in sight, is there? So it just feels very daunting, a little bit unnerving, and gosh, how long is this gonna go on for? But then at the dinner table tonight, we had a really great conversation, didn't we, about what are we grateful for? About we talk about gratitude at most meal times, and we said what's the one thing we're grateful for about lockdown, and actually everybody said the extra time that we've got, that we're having together.
Yes.
And I'm sure everyone's grateful for that, and it's just nice to focus on those positive things and to really anchor into that feeling of gratitude. And then the one thing that we'd like to
go,
can I say
whatever you like?
I then asked what's the one thing you're going to do off the back of lockdown? And Eden and you both said a holiday. Eden said, I want to go to Bluestone, and Ben said, oh, definitely the Cornish sea, Cornish coast. And I said, oh, that's an unusual one, because we probably wouldn't have done that in the last 3 weeks. I was thinking more, who will you see, or will you go to a cafe? But anyway, it's just good to keep that conversation open and keep having that. It's just crazy what we're going through, and we're here for just those what might seem mundane conversations as well. Just reach out and say, I'm finding this really hard, or and we've had a few of those this week, and it's just really good to share that. So just a reminder actually of getting in touch via kerry@themarriagepeople.co.uk, or on our Facebook page, or just pop a message down here as well if you want to.
Cool. Okay. Just a little disclaimer. I am a professional coach. I do make money from coaching. I've got a wealth of experience in coaching. I've had a lot of training, how to deal with people, And this is just our experience and our suggestions and our opinion of what works for us and others. Shouldn't in any way replace any therapy or medical conditioning you may have, and you are completely free to come and go as you please. You are not obliged in any way to be here. We are just delighted that you are. So a little bit of a catch up from last week. We talked about pain. You were all delighted at that topic, but it really has made a difference in so many of your lives, which is great. Being the root cause of marriage breakdown. And we asked you to think about how you reacted to your partner's pain and how you might be able to be a little bit more compassionate over the last 7 days. So we've had some great reports, and we're always grateful to hear from you guys to see how you're doing. We've got some more, a little bit more work for you this week. So that's the most valuable outcome, really, is what can you put pen to paper to and what can you implement in your life? That's our wish for you. As we mentioned from last week, if you have questions, mention that. So this week, just to give you a bit of a roadmap, the topics are what happened to falling in love, the importance of goals in marriage, what we thought when we said I do, how that led to expectations, and how to design your ideal marriage, because most people haven't even really, they might have thought about that, but they haven't really expressed it or described it in any sufficient detail. We need a plan and we need a goal. So, hello? What are you like? What's...
I just remembered when we said our vows.
What did we say?
I said,
oh yeah,
I take you to be my wife.
You did.
Sorry. Someone there saying they reckon that us guys are campers.
Campers? What does that mean?
For holidays.
Oh, we reckon we're campers.
Nicola says, yeah.
I love camping. Kerry doesn't love camping.
Like caravans.
Love caravans, yes, but we camping was trashed when we had our third child who wouldn't sleep at night.
Yeah.
And can I say that? You left all of yours and Willow's clothes at home.
Oh, yeah.
And we went to the Isle of Wight and you just cried a lot.
We haven't been since then.
No. Yeah, it was funny. It wasn't funny then. That night was not funny.
Bad.
No, but thank you. Yes, I love camping. Taking the kids camping this year, definitely. Even if it's in the garden, don't know how long it's going to last. So, yeah.
Anyway, a story.
To
kick us off, Benny.
There was once a rich king who was looking for the right man to marry his daughter. So he decided to set a challenge to see which man had the right mindset and will not give up at the first sign of hard times. For any candidate to pass the challenge, they had to wear the royal metal armor, climb 500 steps to the top of the mountain where the king's castle was located. Many men from around the world came to take on the challenge, but as soon as they put on the armor, they realized that it will be an impossible task. Most men took the first step. They looked up at the remaining 499 steps and gave up. A couple of men managed to get to the second step, but they decided to give up. And so it went on for the next couple of 100 men. She was obviously a desirable,
lovely.
Yes, woman. Some even making it to the third step. The king was looking really worried. He wondered if there was any person worthy of his daughter. Everyone who came and tried their luck with the challenge stayed after they failed to see if anyone would be able to pass the challenge. Nobody believed it could be done. Everyone has failed so far, and they were talking that the challenge was set up so it couldn't be completed. The strongest military men tried and failed. The best athletes tried and failed. The hardest working men tried and weren't able to get past the third step. No one was able to make it any further. They all blamed, hey, that's what we do, blame the armor and the steps. If only the armor was lighter and the stairs wouldn't be so steep, we could do this. And then, to the surprise of everyone, a young man that didn't look special, he wanted to try, as everyone else before him had. He got his chance. He put on the heavy armor and went towards the steps. Everyone yelled, "He won't be able to get past the first step." But he made it to the second in no time. When he came to the fourth step, he could barely lift his shaking feet, but he took a deep breath and made the next step. Now he felt like he was about to drop, but he decided to push on. He kept repeating to himself, "One step at a time. I just need to make this one." As he got to the fifth step, he suddenly felt a huge pull from the top. Suddenly, his armor was a little bit lighter. So he decided to make one more step, saying to himself, "I'm not ready to give up yet." To his surprise, on this next step, the armor felt lighter. He felt very tired, but he thought he could make one more step. And so the not so special young man continued. With each step, he felt his armor getting lighter and his goal closer. When the young man completed this challenge, the king felt congratulated him, and then shared with him a secret about the challenge. You see, the point of the challenge was to make sure that the man who is going to marry my daughter would not be the kind of man that would give up at the first couple of tough moments. The armor represents the tough moments, and the magnet on the top, there's a magnet on the top, you see, made each step easier after the couple few you had to make on your own represented the willpower and experience that will make your future endeavors easier to bear. Because the right kind of person by your side and with the right kind of mindset and focus, you can achieve no matter what the weight of the problem. So now you know the hard part. In every situation you two will face in the future, you are the first couple of steps. Take the first couple of steps and then it'll get easier. You have proved yourself, and now you can marry my daughter, said the father.
Cool. Are you going to do that with our girls?
No, there'll be seriously hard interviews, dark rooms, electric chairs.
Okay, moving on. So, the morals of that story: marriage is hard. Marriage is hard.
Marriage is easy. Being married to you, Kerry.
We only ever need to focus on the next step. With each step that we take, we become closer to our goal, which is a loving, happy marriage. And that is our focus this week. So we've got an action for you guys with your pen and paper, which I hope you've wrote. Write down 3 things that you're really grateful for about your partner in the last 7 days. Just 3. I know you've probably got hundreds. But yeah, just 3 things. So just take a couple of minutes to think about your gratitudes for your partner and write those down now.
Yes. Have at least one gratitude of, I really value this about you. Don't have to share them yet, but just 3 things you're really grateful for. Not just, I was really grateful that you took the bins out, really grateful that you did this for me, really grateful that you did that for me.
I am always really grateful for those things, though. I hate taking the bins out.
Yes, and
but you want it to be deeper.
Yes, just one at least. You know, I really value your presence. I'm really grateful for the way you look at me. I'm really grateful that you build me up when I feel really pants about myself. Yeah, I rarely say pants since I was 16, but did tonight.
Go.
So I'm sure you guys have nailed that already, because it should be easy to do.
Another minute.
Yeah, give him another minute. I'll stop talking.
Yes.
So, appreciation not expressed in marriage is a recipe for bitterness, resentment, and anger. If I had £1, €1, or $1 for every time I heard someone say they just don't appreciate me, I would literally be able to stop world hunger. Law of abundance says that rather than focus on what the world isn't giving you, give to the world what you want, rather than feel like it's being withheld without wanting anything in return. So if money feels tight, go and give some money to someone, even £5, £2, £3. It just helps with the flow. And if the affection is scarce, go give some affection. If sex is scarce, men, go and be present with your wife. Inquire about their day. Ask them if they need anything. Take out the bins. Look in their eyes. Feedback what's wonderful about them, just as a start. Women, if sex is scarce, just take your clothes off and you're pretty much done. So, the marriage manifesto. The importance of being clear about your direction. So, here I have, I know our friends above Birmingham like it when I say here. I have a sat nav function which I use on my phone.
Dear, I
Oh
think
dear.
it shows up.
Oh no. This was like one of the best. Oh, there we go. Do. And if I put into this sat nav somewhere, I get a lot of different options. Just going somewhere. If I put anywhere in here, I get lots of different options UK wide. And if I put go around in circles, I
Look, Stanton Drew.
oh yeah, there is actually a place in Stanton Drew called apparently going round in circles. So, but amongst other places. So the point is, marriage is like a sat nav.
Oh gosh.
No, it's not. It wasn't planned or written down. It needs two really important pieces of information. It needs the location of where you are, and it needs exactly where you want to go. Just roughly where you want to go is not appropriate. And so if you were to just put any direction in, or any location in, or none, it wouldn't have a clue. It wouldn't work. And marriage is no different. And we believe that just being married and living in the same house, it means, I get it does mean something, but it's not conducive. No plan is not conducive to getting what you want in life, and it's not conducive to getting what you want in marriage. So this week is some creation for you rather than just us talking, which is fun. When you start a relationship, a family, a business, or a new job, when you're pregnant, looking to move house, you generally have some kind of plan or vision. And as I've said, you might have the best sat nav on the planet, but if you haven't got those vital pieces of information, you are literally destined to go around in circles. We have hopes that we meet the person, woman or man of our dreams, and how wonderful might life be. And I've just got a bit of what's it called?
Recommendation.
Not a book recommendation, Kerry. A bit of a rant. This is the kind of stuff we read as kids. This is Snow White. It says, years passed and Snow White's beauty had spread far and wide. And, you know, that's the only reason information would travel, because she's beautiful. One day a prince decided to see the beautiful girl for himself. That's all he cares about, is the way she looks. And her beauty took his breath away, and he fell in love with her instantly. Yeah. Yes. And here we've got Cinderella. And Cinderella is a popular one. Cinderella and the prince had a glorious wedding. She forgave her sisters their cruelty, and she never had to wash up a dirty dish ever again, because wouldn't that just be disgusting? Then we've got Sleeping Beauty. Here, you know, I had this stuff read to me as a kid. She was so beautiful, he gasped out loud. In one swift movement, the prince knelt beside her and kissed her gently on the lips. To his utter astonishment, her eyes slowly opened and she began to wake up. The prince looked into her deep blue eyes and realized this was a girl he'd been waiting for all of his life. She hadn't said a word, but, you know.
Yeah, she's just woken up to somebody basically snogging her.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be furious.
Well, yes, this is it, Kerry. This is what we remember as kids, that long-term relationship was supposed to be like, and it's preposterous. And I was literally, Florence is 7, and I was literally saying, this is a load of crap tonight. Look how ridiculous this is. She just, and, um, it's just not real. It's not a reality of how you just get saved from crap that happens in your life. Like no one's going to come and save you. I still don't really understand where the government's bailout money is coming from. Looking forward to getting some of that maybe in June, maybe.
You're not getting that.
Oh shit. So yeah, that's really bad news. I wasn't prepared for that. But how we just want someone to bail us out, it just doesn't happen, and no one is going to make your marriage successful for you. Even the BFG, I love this book. Florence read this book last week, and we let her watch the movie as a reward. But even at the end, like the Queen and the Army saved the world from the big giants. But that just doesn't happen. You need a really good plan, people. You were rescued by a handsome prince. And just letting you know, you didn't know. Now you know. So
what it feels like when we fall in love is you meet and you put your best foot forward. You go the extra mile to please your partner. You express your adoration. You have good regular sex. You rarely argue. You accept one another's flaws, and it seems like they don't have many anyway.
None.
And you forgive easily.
You do.
Yeah. And you decide to marry, even though you still don't really know each other that well. That tends to be the next step.
Blinded by how you make me feel, and you are the answer to all of my problems, and you are going to do everything that we think you say in this next section. So when men say their wedding vows, this is like the best relationship of all relationships. When we get to the point of making some vows, and we're so blurry-eyed, we aren't, there's a lot in the locker, really. And the first few years of marriage, you sort of, depending on what you've been through, some of that stuff starts to get unpacked. And here's what we think we said. Here's what women really hear when men said their wedding vows. Everything you want, I will give you. I will never withhold my love. I will listen to you even when I have nothing to give in any moment. I will have endless reserves available for you. I will read your mind when you expect something from me, and I will just get it done. When you screw up, I will see the mistake as our mistake. I won't point it out to you. I will not resent you or get angry. We'll work it out together, happily and peacefully. Other women, men, will cease to exist in my eyes. I give to you all that I have or ever will have. I will never leave you. I'll never risk all of our money and lose it all, not ever. That's what women kind of thought men said when they took their vows. Here's what men thought women said when they married. I will have sex with you often. I will be adventurous. Sex is really important, like the most important thing. When you complain, I actually like it. You aren't selfish. I like it when you talk about you all the time. It's natural to want all those things you had when you were 16, 17, and 18. We'll get you a radio control car again next week. I will help you get it. I will replenish your drinks daily. When you have finished your beer or cider, I will retrieve you another. Oh yeah, checking out girls is so much fun. Why don't you just tell me who you fancy? You are really good at listening. Comes easy to you. You don't need to keep working at it at all. I will fulfill your every desire. Emotionally, I will always keep it together, never get too heavy or negative. I love your kids. If you're in a second marriage and you bring different groups of kids, I like them just like they're my own. I love them deeply without any resentment. Resentment isn't even a word. Even though these mad ideas seem mad, it doesn't stop us expecting them, really. We've got this whole contract of unwritten, unsaid things that we don't disclose. And it would have been really helpful if we, knew what we were expecting, because to be fair, most of us don't really. And then we went about explaining, here is a whole list of what I expect you to do. But we didn't.
So how do we overcome these expectations? First, we get clear on what it is that we want, which is harder than it sounds. And then we get to ask clearly for what we want. So ultimately, we work together to get to where we jointly want to go. So as time passes in marriage, and after you've been together a little while, the flaws start to show a little more. You no longer have the energy to go the extra mile. In fact, at times you wish there was miles between you. You don't forgive as easily. In fact, you start to remember every single thing that they've done that's pissed you off, and it has mounted up. Sex is rare and is often done out of obligation rather than desire. In a lot of cases, it becomes much more about him as well. You feel more like friends or co-parents. You argue more often, you communicate less, and you make yourself busier. But
Perfect.
there is hope, 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 hope.
Hope, hope, hope.
Okay, if you haven't ever sat down and worked out what you want from your marriage, then you're both working from a bunch of expectations and assumptions. The truth is that we hadn't actually done this ourselves until this week. We work on our marriage a lot, thanks to Ben. But we still hadn't done this. And actually, the truth is, I probably still wouldn't have written one. But fortunately, Ben leads this aspect in our marriage. And I'm sure there's one of you as well that kind of is much more open to working on your marriage. And the other person a little bit less so. We see that all the time, don't we?
Yeah, just a note on that. Did I cut across you?
That's fine.
Yes, we absolutely do see that. It's just natural that one person has more of a desire to want to grow, build, get closer. And there's a whole range of what the other partner does, from like absolutely not interested at all up to, yeah, okay, I'm in it a little bit. It's rare that you get two white hot burning partners who are both completely head down into it, because we're just not all wired the same. And the truth is, you just need a willingness to grow, just a will in your partner, and this can really make it work for you. Can we help you?
Okay, I'll go get it. Do you want to carry on?
Okay. It was your words, wasn't it?
Okay, it's just the
Okay.
homework.
So, we encourage you to write a marriage manifesto of all the goals for your marriage. Marriage manifesto. We're not hugely mad on the word manifesto, but it sounds clear. Call it marriage goal, marriage target, marriage vision, happy life, happy wife, guys. Happy wife, happy life. Even if you're listening to these videos on your own, there's unbelievable power in it. We have mentioned that before. So here's your work. So get your pen and paper again. It's going to be slightly shorter this week because we would like you to take the time to even contemplate what you would like to write in your marriage manifesto. So we want you to approach your relationship like you would a new house, new business, new voyage, even a holiday, except this is way more fun, as your marriage is more important than any of that stuff. And I just get it. Like, I'm pretty sure that a lot of guys are kind of squirming in their seats about this. But if it was a plan to make more money, plan to have more sex, you'd have kind of chomping at the bit. That's what perhaps you should write as a title. Yes, dear, this is how you are going to get accomplish more sex with me. You just change it from marriage manifesto to that. That would work. So as an example, here is ours. My beautiful wife. We wanted more visuals this week. So are you willing to? Yeah, and this happened. It said, hey, what is it that we do that really works? What are we both consciously aware of that works in our relationship, that we both do, that we just haven't even written down because we just both get it. So it was actually really helpful to write this down. Would you, if I show it like that, is it exactly the same as what else would we got written?
We want to be more than friends always.
Why is that point important to you, Kerry?
That was my number one
I
because
don't know if
that
I need to
was
show this now. I'll read them out anyway.
okay. That was what I experienced growing up. That my parents, bless them, were more like friends, which was great. I've always wanted to have a husband who was a really good friend. I loved their relationship, but of course, what I didn't see when I was young was that actually that was all they were. Um, they weren't romantic. So yeah, I want to be more than friends always. We want to always look forward to our time together, and prioritize some of that every single day, which is what we do, don't we? We carve out our little coffee break every day.
And a bit of a plug, it's common relationship advice to say you just must spend more time together. But if stuff's not really working for you, it's not just a good idea to spend more time together, you know. So if you don't want to do that, that's just a little chime of, hey, let's investigate that. Why don't I? What is it between us right now that is where we're both actively seeking to not spend time together? Because that is a bit of an issue.
Mm. We want to have fun together. It's a big one for me. We want to always be getting to know each other. I think we both accept that we change a lot.
Yeah.
We've changed heaps, and we in the 7 years gone through lots and lots of different
Crazy.
changes. But yeah, to just always be getting to know each other, always asking each other what we're interested in right now, and what's driving you right now, what's hard right now, what's fun.
And you're just about to write another beautiful blog, aren't you, about that lockdown brings out what was already there.
Yes.
And oh, darn it, I've lost my fun together, getting to know each other. You know, we're going through an unprecedented time with unprecedented pressure, with unprecedented uncertainty. It's so unknown what the world's going to be like thereafter. And we are all reacting to that to some degree. And so we are changing. The landscape of our relationship is changing on a daily basis. So you have to be checking in. You have to be, even if you feel afraid and are struggling to breathe emotionally, you have to check in with your partner and find out where they are, because you will just drift. It's no, especially right now. Can't underline that enough. We want to be as supportive as possible in all things, whatever we're going through.
Yeah.
We want to be our partner's main priority, which we touched on last week, to sort of scratch the surface on, really. But it sounds like some of you guys are already starting to build that in. And we want to have a fondness for their happiness. I've just always wanted Kerry to be happy. You know, it's something I know to be true. It's something that, fortunately, I just don't really need to work at. Doesn't mean I don't make mistakes. It doesn't mean I frequently say in various ways through my behavior, I don't love you, you're not important to me right now. I do that. But generally speaking, I actively want to love you and to, you know, always see you not in a not at a higher standard. I didn't mean that. Just see what's wonderful about you and look to amplify the good, you know, rather than always looking at you like what's wrong. And I know it's very easy to do that in a relationship. But Wayne Dyer, a wonderful man, Dr. Wayne Dyer, said once that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And so often in marriage, we're like, they need to change, they need to change. If they change this, it'd be easier. If they change that, it'd be easier. It's impossible to live with you. And so you are fundamentally part of that process. And your personal responsibility then, because you can't change them. There is a module about choice coming up in the next week or so. Your responsibility is, how am I looking at my partner? You know, through what mucky, dirty glasses am I looking at them? Go and clean them up. You know, that's your job.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Me.
Yeah.
So
I think a new plan. I think we'll get to the end. We're going to give them 5 minutes and we'll just end it, and they can do it themselves for the rest of the time on the hour.
okay, you
No excuses
crack
then.
on,
Okay.
because I don't understand.
So, just an example. Once you've set your headline bullet points, if you like, and once you've thrashed that out, you can go and dig a layer deeper. So, as I asked Kerry to elaborate on what does "we want to be more than friends" mean, and you could just both start with that. That might even be one you want to implement, but that might have a completely different meaning to both of you. So, ask and spend some time um, thinking about what that might look like. For the people like me that just love this stuff and want to just sit in this place of pondering and working on it forever, it might be wise to limit your time on the activity to what? Say a figure because you're different to me.
Oh, 5 minutes.
An hour.
Oh.
5 minutes is not appropriate. But it might be for some other people out there. So, to us, it means being romantic, having sex, yes, having regular date nights, paying one each other compliments. As I said, looking for what's good, showing our appreciation frequently. It's like it's so easy to not show your appreciation. Man, I guarantee you, if you spend a whole week finding ways to appreciate your partner and communicate that to her in various ways, on the end of the 7th day, you're going to be having a great time, I promise. And even if they don't respond, you will feel happier. Bottom line. So our time is almost up here. That gives you at least 15 minutes of this hour that you've set aside to be here to work on this, your marriage manifesto. This is the first step towards having and creating the kind of marriage you want. Get crystal clear.
I was going to say as well that this is something that I think we could do, is to review it every now and again. It's just because we have little relationship meetings, don't we? Every few weeks.
We do.
So look, you.
Oh, sorry. I was just checking if there's any emails coming.
That's my job.
Sorry. Taking over your job.
When we have our relationship reviews, we should be bringing our
manifesto,
our vision, and saying, are we doing this? What can we be doing better? So don't just write this and
stick it in the drawer.
Or if you do, just bring it back, review it, keep it at the forefront of your marriage, and keep it at the forefront of your conversations for at least the next few weeks whilst we're doing this. Each Monday, why not just get it out and go, how do we do this week?
And it just fascinates me what and I guess the last point, it fascinates me that people wouldn't want to do that, because it's so important to make sure you're heading in the right direction. What would be your reticence to do that every Monday night if we weren't on Love During Lockdown course?
I mean, I just wouldn't think of it.
It just doesn't enter your consciousness. Is that you don't want to?
And I just think energy, isn't it? I spend so much of my day giving energy to
the kids,
children, that it gets to 8 o'clock and if you crack out the marriage manifesto, I'm going to be like, I just want to watch Netflix.
Come on, Kerry. But that can be improved, can't it? Because I could say, hey, this is important to me. I can just communicate that to you. What do you need from me to help you get to a place where you are ready and able to function like a partly awake adult to have this conversation?
Or bribe me. Get to the garage, buy a box of Maltesers and say, I got these so we could read this together and eat Maltesers.
I'm still not looking at this in the right way.
Are we all over this?
Not just come down nude.
No. The marriage Malteser manifesto.
Keep my clothes on. Bring Maltesers.
Yeah.
Got it. I just can't hear that enough.
Okay, what is that?
We yes. Oh, who said that? A little tiny poem for you. It was I think it.
Do you want me to Google it?
Yeah, quick, because I don't want to. Oh, hold on, I'll copy it in. It's so important to quote the right person. Didi. It was C.S. Lewis. Yeah, love this guy. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending.
Oh, that's nice.
You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. I feel like saying amen at the end of that one. I'm really grateful to you. Thank you for working with me this week. Thank you for having so much fun with me. Thank you for being a wonderful woman.
Oh, Benny. Thank you all for coming. Moving on.
Yeah. That was our. So go back, do your 3 gratitudes if you haven't done that already. Share that at the end of this call. We are also grateful for you guys listening. If you have listened to this as a recording, it will be up live within like an hour or so to go back through if you missed anything that we said. So yeah, thank you so much. We really care about you. Let us know how you're doing.
Yeah. Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.